Hello everyone, welcome to Screen Junkies News. We have just heard that Tom Holland is going to be playing Spider-Man in 6 movies. This is new information. We were hoping that we'd see him again after seeing him doing it so well in Captain America Civil War. But to help me discuss this, I have with me my partner in crime, Roth Cornett.
Hello, I'm so happy to be here with you as always, Alicia.
So he spoke about this in an interview with The Hollywood Reporter. 3 cameos and 3 solo films. So does that mean he's already done one with Civil War?
Civil War, that's the question, right? So it's 3 Spider-Man films, including Homecoming, right? So there'll be 2 after that, and Kevin Feige's talked about that. We were talking about this earlier, that it'll basically be following him as he grows up. And then he'll appear in 3 Marvel films. We assume now Civil War is 1, Infinity War, and then Avengers 4, yes? What I'm actually surprised about is that they didn't sign him on for more. Because notoriously, Marvel does do these extensive contracts, 9 films potentially. So are you a little surprised by that?
Yeah, I wasn't surprised that he's been locked in for a number of films, even though it hadn't been announced till just now. But I think because he's so young that they would want him for a very long time.
Yes.
Particularly because, I mean, I'm sure he did this deal before Captain America Civil War, but he was so good in that movie and everyone was so excited to see the new Spider-Man that they really can't wait to see him in his solo films. It's going to be interesting to see where his character goes. Do you think because he is the youngest team member of the Avengers essentially now that he will be taking over from Iron Man? You know, Robert Downey Jr. is not going to be doing these films for very much longer. Same with Chris Evans as Captain America. Could he be signaling a start of a new guard?
I think so. It makes perfect sense, right? Because of his age, the popularity of the character, popularity of Spider-Man, right? They've wanted Spider-Man back for so many years.
Yeah.
And now they've got him. And then Tom Holland is excellent as Peter Parker.
So
and he's a
good.
great Spider-Man. So it would shock me if they weren't going that direction, and they've obviously set it up that Tony is his mentor. We're going to see that play out in Homecoming. Downey, I think, is signed on for Homecoming and Infinity War, but not necessarily beyond that, and he is very expensive.
Very expensive.
It makes all the sense in the world, but things are going to get very complicated for Marvel, I'd say probably in the next 5 or so years, as they are bringing in characters now to sort of take on the mantle, like Doctor Strange, that we could see a whole different Avengers lineup like you see in the comics. But to center them around Spider-Man makes a ton of sense to me.
Yeah, do you think the fact that he is going to be involved in so many movies, 6 movies, 3 cameos, 3 solo films, that he has a big role to play past Infinity War?
Yes, and that's why it surprises me that they didn't lock him down for more, you know, because none of us knew exactly what the contract was, and I really thought it would be up to 9 movies. I think that they had Sam Jackson on for 9, you know, so I do think that he would have a big role to play. At the same time,
like the character itself is going to be very important.
Absolutely. I mean, this is going to be a huge ensemble movie, so I think everybody will probably get their moment, right? But certainly you're now getting into a world, and we've talked about this when we talked about Doctor Strange, where infinite possibilities are opening up
Infinite wars.
Infinite wars. To
Infinite stones.
Infinite stones.
Infinite gloves? No, it's just one.
Well, that's a whole other discussion.
I actually don't know what I'm talking about with that, so who knows?
Well, that's actually a whole other discussion. But the point is, you can pull in potentially different actors to take on these roles. There's a window, there's a doorway open for that. I won't talk too much about that because it could kind of lend us into a whole rabbit hole and spoiler territory.
Well, what I'm fascinated in is just the scheduling that must go on with all these actors, because one thing Tom Holland did say was that he said Marvel is very flexible when it comes to making other movies, that he is allowed to go and make other movies while he's locked into this 6-picture deal. But then Sean Levy, who is the producer of Arrival, and Arrival, of course, starred another Marvel star, Hawkeye. Jeremy Renner, and he spoke about how it made scheduling so tricky that Marvel has now locked down all these big actors and these great actors too for a long time, that when you're trying to make a movie and you want to cast one of these people, it's really hard to fit them in. What do you think about that? Do you think they're going to steal all the good actors and that's going to be hard to make them do other films?
I think it's interesting because Tom Holland, as you've pointed out, you know, he comes from an indie background and that's how he was sort of discovered, right? And he's a really good actor. So I think it would be a shame if these actors are truly unable to do other movies. Right now, they have been able to. I mean,
they have.
The scheduling might have been difficult for the producers of Arrival, but Jeremy Renner is in the movie. So it did happen. And they are able to do other films outside of this, you know. Chris Evans did Snowpiercer. He directed his first film. They're able to do things outside of the MCU. They're getting a lot out of being these characters as well.
Oh, yeah. I mean, especially for someone like Tom, he's young, as you said, like he comes from an indie background. I mean, how exciting is it to be in these big movies? Great work, guaranteed work, which is hard for actors to have a guaranteed, secure plan for their future, and popularity. And you know the film is going to be seen by people. And it does offer some great character moments. It also sounds really hard in terms of shooting, physically hard.
Yeah.
Got to do a lot of training. And lucky that Tom is young, because he said that during shooting Spider-Man, there was a week when he had to be upside down and it was brutal. So they take their toll.
Yeah,
these
they
movies.
do. I mean, and
they're exciting to watch.
And he was already a really physical guy. Like that was one of the things
about
about
doing backflips.
Yeah,
and stuff.
he did like a bunch of crazy parkour. I don't know if you guys have seen these videos. If you
cool.
haven't, you should really check them out because he's one of the actors playing Spider-Man that really is able to do a lot of his own stunts, which is really cool. You know, I feel like the position they potentially, and this is the last thing I'll say about this, potentially they put themselves in the position of having to renegotiate with him in a few years. And Downey was certainly able to leverage that for a lot of money. So we'll see where it goes with him. Or maybe they really feel like, you know what, the characters are the stars and not the actors, and the movies and the franchises are the stars, so we're not worried about it.
Yeah, we can replace you if they need to.
We'll see.
Well, it's exciting times for Tom Holland and also for Marvel. Ross, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And if you guys want to follow more Screen Junkies news, you can do so right here. You can look at some other cool stuff. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment below. Are you excited that you'll be seeing a lot more of Tom Holland as Spider-Man? Let us know. I'm Alicia Malone. I'll see you soon. Bye.